In what appeared to be one of the most intense confrontations of the war so far, Russian forces launched a massive and highly coordinated drone strike across the Ukrainian front. Hundreds of unmanned aircraft took to the skies in a synchronized assault, one of the largest of its kind, aimed at overwhelming Ukrainian defenses, dismantling hidden UAV nests, and reclaiming lost ground. The offensive marked a critical test of modern warfare, where air power, artificial intelligence, and rapid response drone systems now dominate the battlefield. As the skies filled with incoming Russian drones, Ukrainian commanders scrambled F-16 fighter jets to counter the aerial onslaught. One jet locked onto a fast-moving Russian Lancet drone and fired a missile that detonated it mid-air, a fiery flash illuminating the early morning sky. Civilians captured the strike on video, a brief yet symbolic moment proving Ukraine's ability to counter even the most massive swarm assaults with precision air power. Simultaneously, Ukrainian forces deployed their own long-range FPV drones in quick succession. Video clips from the front lines showed these small but deadly UAVs closing in on Russian drones and destroying them in mid-air or on the ground. Wave after wave of FPVs disrupted the enemy's offensive, turning what was meant to be Russia's largest aerial strike into a chaotic failure. The Ukrainian strategy was simple yet effective: relentless interception and precision retaliation. Not far from these aerial battles, the ground war continued to rage. A Russian T-72 tank pushed cautiously through tree lines, firing toward Ukrainian defenses. The first Ukrainian Javelin missile missed its target, but the second struck true. The tank was disabled, and moments later, a longer-range Ukrainian missile hit it again, setting off a catastrophic explosion that consumed the vehicle. This was followed by another clash. 3 Russian soldiers on motorcycles tried to advance but were ambushed by Ukrainian FPV drones. One rider was killed instantly, and the rest fled, only to be hunted down by additional drones. It was a chilling demonstration of how small, inexpensive UAVs can deliver destruction on a massive scale. Elsewhere, a Ukrainian T-64 tank under relentless artillery and rocket fire continued to fight back. Despite sustaining hits, it managed to destroy multiple Russian targets before withdrawing under heavy pressure. The sequence illustrated the evolving doctrine of armored warfare: survival through constant movement and counterfire. Every engagement became a duel between speed and precision. Near another sector, a Russian BM-21 Grad rocket launcher finished firing and waited for resupply. Ukrainian reconnaissance drones, however, had tracked its every move. Moments after it stopped, an FPV drone dove in and struck, triggering a chain explosion that obliterated the launcher and its payload. The impact was not just physical, but strategic. Destroying one Grad meant paralyzing an entire logistical chain of transport, ammo, and coordination. Ukraine's real victory lay in its ability to compress the kill chain, from detection to destruction, in mere minutes. Further along the front, a Ukrainian T-72 tank caught Russian infantry preparing for an assault and opened fire without warning, scattering troops in disarray. Russia responded by bringing up a Tu-S3 Akatsiya self-propelled howitzer to suppress the tank. But Ukrainian FPV operators were faster. Within seconds, they locked onto the howitzer and launched a kamikaze drone that struck it directly, destroying both the vehicle and its crew. The subsequent attempt to reinforce with a BMP infantry carrier failed as well. The BMP was immobilized by a drone strike, and its troops were picked off while fleeing. Again, Ukraine's drone warfare proved decisive. Detection, strike, and elimination in a continuous rhythm that left no room for recovery. Across multiple fronts, Russian forces lost tanks, artillery systems, and support vehicles, T-72s, T-80s, and Grad rocket systems reduced to burning hulks. The pattern revealed a strategic shift. Low-cost, high-impact drones were neutralizing assets worth millions of dollars. The balance of power was no longer determined by the size of one's army, but by who controlled the faster, more connected, and more adaptive network of unmanned systems. As night fell, the war intensified. Ukrainian drone operators equipped with night vision and thermal imaging tracked enemy movements through the darkness. Heat signatures betrayed Russian soldiers hiding in trenches and buildings. Drone strikes followed in rapid succession, precise, silent, and deadly. Within minutes, entire squads were eliminated and supply trucks destroyed. The psychological impact was enormous. Soldiers could no longer trust the night for cover. Every movement risked detection, every shadow a potential death sentence. Tactically, these engagements left the Russians struggling to adapt. Once they fired artillery or rocket systems, they became fixed targets for Ukrainian recon teams and loitering munitions. Strategically, the war had entered a new era, one defined by speed, information, and autonomy. Drones, with their low cost and rapid deployability, now controlled the pace of battle. A single strike could erase half a battery, and every destroyed launcher weakened the larger operational grid. In the southern front, one Ukrainian drone operator was killed during a mission. His team, despite being under heavy fire, later returned to retrieve his body. A powerful testament to the Ukrainian ethos. We don't leave our own behind. Such human stories amidst the mechanical warfare added a layer of emotional depth to the cold calculus of drone strikes and missile locks. In Krasnoarmy Askaria, Russian losses were catastrophic. Over 25 armored vehicles, including tanks and transport units, were destroyed in a short stretch of road near Dmitrov. The footage of smoking wrecks told the story better than any report could. The collapse of coordinated Russian assaults in the face of relentless drone warfare. Each destroyed launcher didn't just represent a financial loss. It meant the loss of trained personnel, ammunition chains, and battlefield synchronization. Recovering from such losses would take months. Night operations underscored Ukraine's technological edge. Using thermal feeds and infrared targeting, Ukrainian operators executed precision strikes with devastating accuracy. In less than an hour, multiple enemy positions were neutralized, forcing Russian troops to scatter and abandon their fortifications. The age of close air support from helicopters or jets was fading, replaced by unmanned systems that could loiter, hunt, and destroy without pause. Recognizing this new reality, Russian forces began constructing layered defenses specifically designed to counter drones. Radar teams scanned the skies while machine gunners and manpads teams targeted low-flying UAVs. However, despite these efforts, Ukraine's mobility and adaptability kept giving them the upper hand. Adding to the evolving air war, Russia began deploying new Su-34 fighter bombers, equipped with advanced UMPK pods, allowing them to launch guided bombs from safer distances. These aircraft added another layer of challenge to Ukraine's defenses. Yet even with this new hardware, Russian progress remained limited, as Ukrainian units continued to move swiftly, strike precisely, and avoid static positions. The report concludes with a stark reality. Technology and tactics now outweigh brute force. Small, fast, and affordable drones are rewriting the rules of modern warfare. Ukraine's combination of agility, intelligence, and determination, coupled with a deep sense of unity and sacrifice, continues to tilt the balance in its favor. The future of the battlefield belongs not to the biggest army, but to the side that adapts the fastest.